Hello traders, this is FreeFX, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the S&P as always. I've been trading this now for quite a few months, since kind of October. My video today is really, it's almost like a live stream. So I've got the charts open here, and you can see that I have two charts open. And so the first one here on the left is the S&P in the CFD version, so the spot version, which I'm trading through Orlando. And on the right-hand side here, I've got the CME version, so the futures E-mini S&P, as you can see, September expiry contract. I've got the camera back on. It's still a little bit lagging, but hopefully it won't be too much of a distraction. Now I'm going to take this down to the 5 minutes, so they're both similar, except this one on the right is the 1 hour, and I'll explain why in a second. But I'll put it to the 5 minutes as well, so that we can see like side by side. Now, you might notice some slight dissimilar kind of price behavior. So on the right-hand side, the futures are doing something slightly different. As you can see, the CFD is responding quite negatively. There's a big drop there on the 5 minute. And on the right-hand side, there's a dip there, this long wick is forming, slightly lagging behind the CFD. Okay, so that doesn't mean that one leads the other. We talked about this before my videos, but it's still quite interesting as well. And the other thing I was going to talk about is the volume, which obviously is interesting, but I'll leave that for later. So let's go back to price. As you can see on the CFD, this is the US Open, so it was kind of like a live stream almost, because we're watching price as it develops through the session. The pop-up screen there is my trailing stop that's being moved down. So obviously that's the reason for that. Bit annoying, but it's quite a drop that's happening at the moment on the 5 minutes, so there'll be a lot of kind of continuous adjustments to the trading stop as price leads that further south. Now, I did express a wish almost last week that there would be a drop in price in the S&P, and it seems that my sort of prayers have been answered, if you like. The reason for that is that, and I'll show you a wider time frame, is that if you look at the 4 hour, for example, you'll see there's a sort of technical correction, if you like, due to happen. So if I go to the 4 hour there, you'll be able to see that a bit more clearly. So that's the Bollinger there. We pushed on the Bollinger, but more than that, we were on a CCI and we started sort of declining as price was actually still pushing up through the end of last week. And clearly that's a sign. And now price is kind of following CCI, you might say. The other thing that is very interesting about this is the daily, because that really, for me, is where things are quite clear. So we've got up to, we're in a downtrend, right? So, and we obviously go back a bit and see sort of previous incarnation of this, where we have price sort of mostly under the middle line, the simple moving average for the Bollinger Bands. And on the daily, we are just coming down to that level again, which is a moving level, obviously, so it's not like a fixed level. But it's sort of following price almost to the point that you can sort of treat it as a goal, as a price responding to it, rather than the other way around. And we're coming off that, just as you can see, we're dipping below it. So it's kind of rejecting price. On the CCI front, clearly we've got this reaching the zero level, and that's always an important threshold to decide if the continuation is likely on to the downside. And we've had obviously a few weeks of staying below pretty much, except this little foray above it, and so we expect that to continue. On the futures side, as I said, it's slightly lagging, so we'll go back to the 5 minute there. Keep an eye on that. So that trade is developing now more and more. On the futures side, what I'm interested in is the hourly, because this kind of gives a sense of volume. Obviously, the sort of futures side is centralized data and going through the exchange, and so the volume figures are true and do respect obviously the the overall activity in the S&P E-minis, which is not the total activity of S&P trading. Obviously, there's the kind of spot version, which is what I'm trading, which is kind of decentralized. And so it's not the totality of it. And if you think of the Forex market, you know, if you compare Forex market figures, and that includes all activity, versus something like the CME, foreign exchange contract, it's you know, the CME is a smaller component, but the volume shown in the CME futures for currencies, for Forex, is significant enough that we can use it as a proxy when we're looking at spot or CFD versions of the same price to kind of see where the strength of the market is. I'll come back to that in a second if I have time, but I want to keep this short just to show you on the hourly. So as you can see, the volume is kind of picking up just now. So the US Open happens at 2:30 UK time, which is equivalent to 8:30 Chicago time, 9:30 Eastern time, New York time. So we are obviously looking at the volume for the US Open here and US time. So as you can see, US time, Chicago time, is 8 p.m. Sorry, 8 a.m. and it's 8 a.m. here on the 24th, which was last Friday. Nice bit of sort of activity there, and the following hour, so that crosses the market open. If you look back, again, 23rd, that would be Thursday, again, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., lots of activity there. Now, these bits of volume don't tell us anything except the overall volume, which is sort of reflecting the close, so that if the candle is green, so it's a bullish candle, then the overall volume will be same color. But it doesn't tell us the sort of battle between buyers and sellers within that candle, within that space. For that, you need to go to depths of market, you need to look at volume profiling and sort of broken down data between buyers and sellers at particular prices with histograms, etc. Okay, so just to kind of summarize, this is a live view. I'm not doing a live stream per se, but it just kind of goes to show that there is a certain amount of activity around the US Open, which obviously adds to the London Stock Exchange and kind of Frankfurt, so the European session, and that combined creates the most volatility. In fact, if you go to the CME own kind of volume data, you can see that the most active time of the market is this, the two sessions, the UK or European session and the US sessions overlap. Now you can see price there is going down quite a bit, which is for me is a good thing. As I said, technically and fundamentally, it does seem that yes, we had a little relief rally on Friday. Some people got very excited about that, you know, understandably, because yeah, it's some people want to be in a bullish market again, and they're frustrated by this state of affairs. But you know, it's fine to sell when you have to sell, and it's fine to buy when you have to buy. It would be frustrating for me if this had been continuing further up today. I would have had to sort of come out of my position and just wait to see if really we entered a new phase in the market, rather than maybe jumping into, or maybe jump in, but just for a very short space of time and buy S&P. But thankfully, I don't have to make that decision at the moment. It seems that it happens to be the correct analysis, that we are price rejecting further continuation to the upside. So that's my video today, which is short and sweet, but just wanted to do a video watching price develop through the very powerful US Open, obviously on the Monday, after a short week, and just kind of getting on with a full week of trading, and the market full reaction on the Monday, which is always better than late Friday kind of reaction, and there's more interest. Very important tomorrow as well, Tuesday. Even more active sometimes than Mondays, but you have to sort of do stats on that. But generally speaking, I think there's some truth in that Tuesdays can be better than Mondays, just like Mondays can be better than Fridays, or Thursdays can be better than Fridays, but there can be a lot of activity at the end of the week or the start of the week, so never discount that. Okay, so we are 15 minutes into the US Open, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of that bearish push going anywhere. We have obviously gone higher than these levels. So if I go to the 4-hour there, and you can see quite clearly that we've been where we've been on Friday, so that's not to say that the current push cannot be undermined, but I would say, and obviously always beware that there's sort of slight differences between the two, between the futures and the CFD. So that's my CFD on the left 4-hour, and the futures on the right 4-hour. So you can see, if you compare candle by candle, it doesn't quite look the same. The last 4 candles, including the current one, not quite the same. But still, there's a strong kind of bearish candle forming, and that's kind of consistent on both sides of the of the projections. So I think we are going to see more of this today. There's a space to fill. As you can see from the Bollinger Band down to the SMA, there's a space to fill there. My target is actually from a daily perspective, so I've gone a little bit lower, and I'm aiming for a 2 times ATR, and that will take us further down into this kind of area. So current ATR is on the 4-hour. Current ATR, obviously I entered the trade last week, so current ATR is 35, and so if you see that, it's actually 35.1, and so if you put it into the daily, that will give 70. So if we go from here, let's say, although it actually entered the trade a bit lower down, but just to give you an idea, I could just show you my target, I suppose, but I've taken that off the chart just to make it a bit cleaner. So if I did that and went down to about, I think I entered the trade about here. I think the target is somewhere along, let's see. Target is somewhere along. Actually, my target is somewhere along here. So the what's the daily chart? Let's see. I think it might even be more than 2 times ATR, to be fair. Anyway, my target is somewhere along here. So a little bit more ambitious than 2 times ATR, actually. I think because I widened the stop and decided to kind of balance it, but maybe being a bit more ambitious on the target. But usually it's 1 or 2 ATR. But I think there's quite a bit more to fill here. So we'll see how it goes today. I mean, if it sort of peters out, I might sort of exit for less, 1 even ATR. But I'd like to get more out of the trade possible. So there's no harm being ambitious. If the market gives you that, great. If not, might not want to hold it overnight again, because it just depends on how the day develops, really. So we'll see how it goes. But that's kind of how we've sort of looked at things, how we've ended up here, and we'll see as well quite important if the ATR picks up, because obviously we had the kind of push on Friday, but if you look at the 4 hour again from Friday 24th, seen that sort of ATR push up and then kind of drop down. So we need to see this kind of responding today and really picking up a bit more to get that trade into traction. So trading stop, all going well, and hoping that it's going to be a good day for my trades, and we'll see how it goes. So good luck trading out there. See you soon.